Hey everybody, welcome to Fab Fit Friday. I am working with my new video camera, my new webcam today, and I think it's working well. I don't know if there's anybody in here with me at the moment, but I'm here and I'm very excited because if you follow along with me, you may have seen on Monday, I reviewed this book. Hi, Sylvie. Welcome. Can you hear me and see me okay? I'm working with a new webcam. I worked with this book on Fab Fit Friday. What am I saying on Fab Fit Friday? For Cool Tools, I reviewed this book by Don McCunn. Oh, not that book, sorry. This book by Don McCunn. Hey Terry, welcome. Oh, a Connecticut girl. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so I reviewed this book. Oh, and Sylvie and Franz can hear me. All right, so my webcam died and I limped along for a week using my big camera for a face camera, but then it was all face. So, oh, I'm loud and clear. This is so exciting. My husband researched, and I'm not going to take it off the thing, but this is my fancy new webcam. I'm using the Insta360 Link 2, and I was really excited because it actually installed for me. I was able to make it work. I didn't have to get any help. I did it all by myself. And when I started streaming, I was a couple minutes late, but I went into my settings and I fixed it. So I'm feeling very tech savvy today. All right, so it's really hot in here and I'm going to talk about a few things and I'm going to get as much done as I can. And then I'm off to help my daughter. They're actually moving into their house today. Last week I canceled or moved Fab Fit Friday to Thursday because she needed my help on Friday. But this week I told her I didn't want to screw around with my Fab Fit Friday schedule. So I told her I'd come and help her right after, I was finished. So let me know in the comments if this tracking thing is annoying or if you think it's helpful, because I think I can turn that off. So next time I will turn it off if it's annoying. Hey Kelly, popping in from Southwest Missouri. Hey Tana, welcome. Hey Vicky, you're watching on your phone today. Power's temporarily off temporary for tree trimming. Oh, well, thank you for joining me on your phone. All right, so I know I finished underwear and I moved on to shorts, but it took me all week to find something that I'm going to use to line my shorts. And the only thing I got done in terms of doing that is just pulling that out of the washer. So let me deal with that first. So I've decided I am never wearing anything solid white, just not going to do it. So I have this lovely piece of white linen and it's very lightweight. Let me just switch my view so you can see. So I'm just going to make myself smaller here so I'm not taking up as much of the room. But basically this white linen is really lightweight. You can see through it. I think you can see through it. So I'm going to line my shorts in this linen. So it'll be like I have double linen shorts, but I think this will be good to line my floral shorts, which I have right here. So I'll be working on these and I will get these finished up, in the next week. But I do think having, white linen under there will be a good choice. So that's what I'm doing for the shorts. And now I want to talk about underwear because let's look at the pattern first. This kind of blew my mind. I'm going to be completely honest with you. And if you remember me talking about this, this is literally my first foray into making underwear. And so I was really kind of surprised by this, but also I guess I'm, not surprised. Well, I am surprised, but also I just want to show you the differences here between the pattern I made, the pattern I downloaded, and then the pattern I made. So let me just get these. Let me move these out of the way. Hey, Barbara, welcome. Okay, so this is the draft that I made using Don McCunn's book, How to Make Custom Fit Bras and Lingerie. It's a really simple draft, so if anybody is interested in trying to draft their own pattern, this would be the perfect place to start, because literally you just need a few measurements. And let me see, I took my measurements here and I jotted them down on this little notepad. You need your crotch measurement, okay? And the crotch measurement becomes this long vertical line. So that's my crotch measurement. And I just went for my full 27-inch crotch length. Then I measured my waist, okay, and that's 40. So I divided that into quarters because that's what you used for the waist measurement, a quarter here and a quarter up here. Then I measured my full hip, which was only 3/8 of an inch bigger by the time you quartered it. So it's almost a straight side seam here. So this is the hip line. This is the waistline, and you measure, how far your full hip is from your waist. Mine's not very far down. And then what you do is you measure your center back to the leg opening on your body. And if you're interested in how I got these measurements, check out, my cool tools where I shared this on Monday. Oh, Vicky says, I never wear white. I'm too sloppy. I'm too sloppy too, Vicky. That's why I'm going to use the white to line my shorts. And my floral shorts are so busy that if I make a boo-boo on them, it probably won't be noticeable. So that's why I'm using my white linen for a lining. But anyway, so you just took these few measurements, and then you drafted this. And the green outline that you can see, this is the draft I got. Okay. And so the middle crotch is right here. You come a little bit towards the back to divide it so the seam is sitting more on the back. And what I did was I traced the back piece, so it looks like this, and I traced the front piece looking like this, right? Okay, so I just traced them as is. Now the one thing that was not taken into consideration during the draft is how much stretch your fabric has. And I decided I would just go with it and not try to pre-figure that out, because, in the book, Don recommends using your first test pair to fit the pattern to you. So that's what I did. So I basically cut out on the fold one of these and one of these to get the pattern. And what I want to do here is, let me see if I can, I took pictures and I just want to see if I can, I'm going to see if I can just add them on the screen so I don't have to wave my phone around. So I'm just going to look for my image thing here. I'm going to create a new image and I'm going to browse for that image on my computer because I downloaded them to my computer. All right, so let me just download these two things. Okay. All right, so let's look at this one first. Oh, let me see if I can shrink it up a little bit here. Hold on. Oops, let me move. Okay, wait, whoa, this is really, really giant. Hold on. Wow. This is really giant. I was having trouble with my settings, so I didn't have time to put them on first. All right, let me get myself. Okay, so I'm going to put myself here. I'm going to put this here so you can see. This is the pair that I drafted using Don's book, and you can see that the crotch width is too wide on my ditto form. It's not quite as bad on my body, and I haven't turned the edges under yet. So I'm going to be turning those edges under a ½ inch on each side. So I think that will fit better. Is there only one crotch seam? Okay, so this, I basically made this a 2-piece pattern for now, but I will, work with it in a minute. I mean, I can make it into a separate crotch piece. I don't know. There's instructions in there to make a 3-piece or a 2-piece. So right now, this has just got one crotch seam. All those seams you see in the muslin is me taking it in. I actually took 1 inch out of the width of the crotch after trying it on the first time because it was just way too wide there. That was the only thing that I think proportionally was not good for me. The rest of it I took in because they were just too big, because I drafted them on my basic measurements without considering stretch. So that seam you see at center front, that goes all the way to the center back, and I basically just took out a whole inch right through the center of the muslin to bring in that crotch width just a little bit. So the interesting thing here is I want to just show you the other pair that I made, and this is the one I made from the pattern that I downloaded for free. And again, you can see it's going to be a giant pattern, so let me see if I can just shrink that up really fast here. And I'm going to put them side by side so you can see the difference, because then when I show you the how they look flat, I want to show you. So what I want you to notice here is this is the pink pair I made from the hipster pattern I got from Bra Make website, and their website is in the description below if you want to check this out. But you can see this ended up almost being like a granny panty. Oh, am I having a syncing problem? All right, I'm sorry about that. I will figure that out for next time. Don't look at my lips. I don't know how to fix that, but I will get it fixed for next week. So just look at here, because right now you can't see me anyway, so we don't have to worry about it syncing. So the pair on the right, again, is the hipster pattern, but it ended up being like a granny panty on me because, or a full brief, because of how high the waist is. But I want to tell you, it was really, really comfortable, like super comfortable to wear, because I wasn't constantly picking it up to pull it over my belly. So these pink underwear are super comfortable. Oh, Vicky says that it's syncing on hers. All right, well, I'll do some tests and see if I can improve it. We'll see. Again, this is my first time using this camera. So hopefully I can work out any little bugs. Oh, I have to stop and say hi to Eileen. Welcome. All right, so those are how they are. Notice that the pair that I drafted don't come up as high, which I find that kind of interesting considering I used my full 27-inch crotch measurement. I thought that was just very interesting that they turned out that way. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to delete these now. It's just the easiest way for me to get rid of them. So let me just delete. All right, and let me just smoot myself back over here. Okay, so now let's look at this pattern again one more time. Okay, so the green is what I drafted using Don's book, and then the red that I dashed in is the pattern that I made, that I downloaded from that Bra Make website. And I'm just going to darken it up so you can see. Now here's what I find very interesting. I thought, now you can see I have a much higher or a much longer seam allowance, right? Oh, Barbara's not syncing either. All right, I'm gonna have to work on that. Thank you guys for letting me know, and I'm sorry that we're having a little technical difficulty because, you know, again, first time with this camera. Now, what I want to show you right here is this is the back leg, right? The draft for this one has you go from the bottom of your side seam, and then it wants you to touch the crotch here, and this measurement was taken from center back, from the center back to where the leg opening is. And I marked these on my actual body, and I took measurements from my body. So if you're not interested, I mean, if you're interested in seeing that, just check out Cool Tools from Monday. All right, I'll put the link in after I get off. But basically, I was 9.5 inches from center back to where my leg opening was. So you go from the side seam, you touch there, you touch here, and then you do the same thing in the front where you measure from your waist, from your waist to your leg opening. That was 6 inches. Okay, so you touch from the side seam to where the leg opening is to the crotch. Now, what I want to point out here and what I find very, very interesting is I thought for sure this was going to fit me like a cheeky underwear. All right, like cheeky, because it's actually bowing in flat on the pattern. However, when I put these on, and I should have taken a back view on my ditto form, I'm sorry I didn't, but just trust me when I say that this back leg opening fit me like right where I'd want my underwear to be. Now, it didn't cup under my behind. This back leg opening from the hipster, remember I bowed it down a little bit? And so this actually cups the bottom of my cheek. This one sits at the bottom of my cheek, but it doesn't cup. So I found that very interesting that, you know, these two dramatic shapes both fit me and they're both comfortable, and this one's not cheeky. So I found that extremely interesting. So then I thought, well, let's look at it. So the first thing I did was, and I can show you here now. Okay, so see how it looks. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so you can see it. Let's see if I can get it better. All right, so this is how the one I drafted from, I'm going to move myself over here so I can push this more like this. Like this. I don't need to have all of this real estate. All right. So again, just like I did when I drafted the, when I tried the first pair, when I tried the pink pair, remember I had to take it in on the sides. I took it 3 inches out of the front and I took 3 inches out of the back. Well, I ended up doing the same thing on this, except I took a full inch out of my center front. Let me just make this a little bit brighter so you can see better. I can make it a little bit, there we go. Okay, so I took it in an inch here, an inch here, an inch here, and I also took it in an inch, an inch, and an inch, and I did inch side seams, and I didn't add side seams to the pattern because I knew it was going to be too big. So you can see that I reduced the width of this crotch. I think once I sew it in, that'll be okay. But basically, let's now compare it to this. So these are the pink ones that I was wearing, and I just want to show you flat how they compare. And I'm just going to line them up down here. I mean, if I line them up here, you can see they in no way, shape, or form agree. They're longer here, but they don't stretch up as high. Isn't that weird? Like, these are higher on me than these. So I found that very interesting. Oh, Vicky's telling me that things are slightly out of sync. All right, I will work on that, I promise. My encoder setting, I switched that to 264 because the settings that worked with my Logitech weren't working with this. So first I couldn't get a picture to show on the with the camera. So I'm going to have my husband help me fix it, but I promise, for next week. All right, so you can see, and I think you can see here, this is interesting. See how when I put the elastic, you can see the extra in here that will cup because the pattern piece bows down, and then when you put the elastic, you know, you can see the extra puddle in here, and then it kind of, you know, fits. But I just find it very interesting that the rise is longer on this red pear, but on my body, it's not sitting up higher. And I have no explanation for that because, again, I'm not an underwear expert, but I'm just sharing with you all of my impressions of things. And I think the reason why is this, if I line it up like this, you can see then it does stick up higher if I line up, you know, where the side seams are. But the cool thing is both of these legs, this leg and this much more high cut looking leg, both fit me low. It's not a high cut leg when it's on my body. So I just find this very, very fascinating. I found these very comfortable, so I am going to make a pair from this pattern. And I'm really excited because I ended up buying 20 yards of elastic from Bra Builder. Oh, I'm looking at my OBS and I can see that my syncing is not 100%. So again, I'm sorry about that. I feel like I don't want you to listen. I don't want you to like look at my lips move. I just want you to listen to my voice. Tana says, I bought a full briefs after years of wearing low cut thongs. Granny panties feel so good. I'm going to totally agree with you there, Tana. I mean, I was a thong girl when I was in my 20s and 30s, and then that quickly went out of style for me. But I definitely agree. And Victoria says, oh, we know you'll get the syncing right. It always just takes a little time to get it right. Just enjoy watching your videos. Thank you so much, Victoria. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I was really hoping when I went downstairs that my husband was going to be able to fix my Logitech because I didn't want to buy a new one. And this one was a little pricey. So we will get it to work. Let me know if this moving around thing bothers you, because see, this will follow me everywhere I go. I'm watching the little camera switch around. So let me know if that's making you seasick or if you like the camera following me, because again, I could turn that feature off. All right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to this. And actually, if I'm on this one, then you don't even have to look at my lips moving the wrong way. I'm going to get my pattern pieces out here. And let's just compare the paper one more time. I find this fascinating. So here's my back. And here's my back. Like these backs, look at, these could not be any more different. Whoops, let me make it a little bit darker now. Look at this. These are both back patterns and they both fit me comfortably, and look at how different they are. Let me do it like this. Isn't that crazy? And that's so crazy. You know, it's not like when you have a pants pattern and you find a shape that works for you, obviously, because, I don't know. I'm going to have to do a comfort test and see which one I like better. But what I'm going to do is, let's compare that. We can see that's really different. And then, if I get these, look how long that is. Look at. And look at the difference in the, look at that. This is crazy to me. Look at how much longer this one is. I'm just gonna, well, okay, I'm not gonna walk it yet because I haven't made it smaller yet. But basically, blowing my mind that this one is higher, and it isn't because this fabric is a 4-way stretch, okay, just like this one is. So it's not like my pink one is more stretchy. They're very similar stretch. So I just find this fascinating. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make the changes to this pattern like I did before. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off a 1/2 inch here because I'm just going to leave myself with a 1/2 inch allowance. So let's go ahead and cut off a 1/2 here. So I'm going to trim this. Oops. Okay, because I don't need a full inch allowance there, so I'm going to get rid of that. Then I'm going to go ahead and make a, actually I think it'd be better if I make it right here. I'm just going to go ahead and go like this, and I'm going to go like this. Okay, because this is one of the pleats I made, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. All right, let me tape this. Okay, and I think what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to fill that little divot in. Let me do this, the back, and make sure it's similar, because I could make the side seam a little bit longer. Let me just do this right here in the back and see what I end up with. All right, so I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to fill in this little divot here. And I did notice that my back side seam was slightly shorter than my front side seam when I sewed these together. I stretched the back to match the front just for this sample, so I'm going to fix that too. And that is telling me, because there's a bigger difference on this one than this one, so I can definitely see that I need to fill that in. And I must have a little scrap here somewhere that I can use just to fill that in. So literally I'm just going to put a piece of tape right here. And I'm just going to extend that down like this. I'm not drawing on it because the tape won't let me. All right, and then let me just fill this one in too, right here. And then I'm just gonna follow this along. And let me just make sure I make them the same length, which now they are. All right, so now those are relatively in agreement. And then I'm going to cut off the 1/2 inch over here. Just gonna cut it. All right, so now I've got a much smaller, well, I took off 3 inches or 1.5 inches on the side. Let's compare it now. So now when we look at the center front, I mean, this one is still a little bit bigger. Maybe I'll take it in some more, I don't know. But it seemed like it was fine the way it fits. It just fits completely different. I don't know. I just find this fascinating that, like, for example, these leg openings are not too big. Like, look at that huge leg opening. That's crazy to me. And it's also crazy to me that they're not high cut leg openings, even though they look like high cut leg openings. So I'm learning a whole bunch of stuff about making underwear here. And I do want to say, if anybody is, you know, running down this path with me and making underwear and you don't have this book, again, I highly recommend this book. And I just want to show you again here the other thing that I'm very excited about. Oh, and by the way, if you wanted to make a thong, or if you wanted to make a bikini type style underwear, oh, you can make a bikini top as well. So, like, let's say you want to make a bikini bathing suit. Okay, you can do that the same way you do the pants. You basically tape it off with twill tape on your body and then take measurements to do a basic bikini top. But what I wanted to show you here is, in addition to the brief that I used, you could make any kind of style bikini and thong underwear in this book. So it really gives you, you know, all the tools you need. And the interesting thing about it is, like, I love that he shows you how to, you know, basically take measurements right off of your body after you tape them out or mark them on your body. I just find that fascinating. All right, and then of course I went with the brief, the fitted brief, but look at all the different styles you can make. So I think there's something in this book for everybody, quite honestly. So I really like this. All right, so then the other thing that I'm very excited about in this book, and I am going to do a sew along for this. I might have mentioned to you guys or showed you when I was doing my custom, or not my custom, but like when I showed you how to take apart a bra, a sports bra, and clone your own. My sports bra is huge, and I like how he has this sling back design in here. And you can really custom fit, you know, to get it to fit you right. So, you know, here's just a basic design, and this I would need more coverage. So basically he shows you how to, you know, add coverage and how to add, you know, even to make it a pieced cup to give yourself more coverage. So I am like really excited about this, because if I could build this into a top, then I don't need to have such a big straps, like wide straps, to cover my sports bra. So I will be doing a sew along on how to make a bust sling bra from this book. So if anybody wants to follow along with me, you know, get your copy so you're ready. I'm not gonna do it right this second, but I will be doing a bust sling bra, so then I can put it into a top. I'm very, very excited about that. All right, so I think those are the things I wanted to share with you today. And again, I'm sorry that my voice is not syncing, but I will fix it. I tested it on Zoom, and Zoom matched, and I just didn't start streaming. I tested it in here that I could get it to turn on and work, but then I didn't start streaming to test. But I can see if I move my lips that it's not exactly lined up, but I promise you I'll get that fixed for next week. So I know this is a shorty, Fab Fit Friday, but I will be making, oh, one other thing. I just want you to know, somebody from the UK reached out to me, and she is going to be sending me the one-sided fusible elastic that has a plush side and a glue side, a fusible side. So I cannot wait to get my hands on that as well. If you remember a couple of weeks ago, I was, you know, mentioning that I found some at the sewingchest.com. It's a UK company, and they don't ship to the United States. So someone did reach out to me. She's going to be sending me that fusible elastic. I'm super excited. So I'll share that with you when it comes. And also I will share my finished underwear that I'm going to make from Don's draft that I followed along with in his book. So that's my report for today. I hope you guys are enjoying this summer weather. We're actually supposed to get really serious thunderstorms anytime after 1 o'clock. So I'm kind of excited that it still looks sunny outside. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining me today. I'm going to hop off a little early because I want to go help my daughter move her boxes into the house. They spent a week painting and shampooing carpets and cleaning, and so now they're actually moving in. So I just want to go over there and help them. So it's very exciting. But anyway, so thank you guys for joining me. I hope you guys are enjoying your summer. Thank you for telling me how my new webcam is working, and I will work on syncing that up for next week. So thank you. Thank you. Have a nice weekend, and I will see you next week. I do want you to know that I have a super exciting cool tool this week. I cannot wait to share my cool tool this week. It's a big one. It's a big cool tool. Big. Very excited. So there you go. All right, I'm going to sign off. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you for joining me. All right, bye.